Hello and welcome, my friends, to another day of Thriftmas and another day being warm and cozy inside of my coat. I hope you guys are comfy because you're going to be in here for a while. We are starting off in the books because that is where I always start in this thrift store. We are at the Restore in Newport News, my actual favorite thrift store this year for multiple reasons. Last year for Thriftmas, I found some amazing mid-century pieces that they had no idea what they were. Some Longhorn plates that were worth $40 a piece that I got for $2 each. And then, of course, some other mid-century modern pieces. The reason why this is my favorite thrift store this year is what you are looking at right now is the books. I have bought probably 500 plus books from this thrift store just within the last 6 months, and man, it has been amazing. So you see here me picking up some Charlene Harris. This is just to show y'all how prolific they are in the thrift stores. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, see the last Thriftmas video, but those ones are not new, so they got left behind. I will only pick up those books when they are new. You can actually see in the corner there some more. I'm going to go pick those up and show them to you. These are also used, so they went back as well. It is a series that I love and read all of them and own them. So this is a Stephen R. Donaldson book. I would have purchased that, but they wanted $4 for this. This store is a little odd. Someone at the beginning of the year decided that all vintage science fiction and fantasy books were $4. So there were a bunch of science fiction and fantasy books. I'd almost given up buying those from this store because they're normally only 50 cents a piece. When the store got inundated with a bookstore going out of business, and that's why I said I've probably bought over 500 books from this thrift store. And then they decided to reasonably price sell the books again. You can see that $4 book was still there. Also, there is a second-hand bookstore about 5 miles down the street where that book would be $2.50. So they are asking more at this thrift store. They were asking more at this thrift store for some of the science fiction and fantasy books than the actual second-hand bookstore called Second and Charles down the street. So this is me just perusing. Again, I have shopped this Restore vigorously for books over the last 6 months. So it is going to be like maybe ones or twos and new donations. Normally what I do is I go in and like actually remove all the books from each shelf because they're double stacked. But I see that they have rearranged these books since the last time I was here, and all of the ones that I'm just seeing a whole lot of repeats, honestly. Now, this is a book I would have picked up if I had seen it when I picked up the collections previously, but because I did not, that now has some damage on it, so I can no longer call it a new book, but I have several in my store already that are from that same publisher and writer. You saw me pick up a classic book there. I have a couple of classic works that are normally on, high school and middle school reading lists that are not worth picking up. Well, again, you do you. But we're not really worth reselling unless I do a grouping of books. And so that's what I'm doing. So because it's so cheap, and also because the other ones that I have are like 10 cents, 25 cents, that if I get like 3 or 4 or more books and sell it as a lot, that'll be a better listing. This is a vintage classic, English literature classic, that I might read before I resell it. Because, chances of it selling immediately are very slim. These vintage classics, they're waiting for the right buyer. They're waiting for a collector, or they're waiting for someone who specifically wants a vintage copy, or they're waiting for someone who is doing a set in order to have background stuff. That is quite the cover. That is why I looked at it. So this is a little book set. And I was like, okay, I'm trying to see if there is a price tag on it, because normally these little box sets have a sticker on them somewhere saying how much they are. And so I'm like, well, maybe they put it on the books. And so I'm looking at all the books to see if they have a sticker there, and I'm also kind of showing you what books I picked up because I am buying this. So they don't have a sticker on them. So I guess that means I'm going to pay 50 cents a book, which is $2.50, which for this set, I'm more than happy to pay $2.50 for the Newbery Honor Book Classics. So there are those. I just don't want to hold on to them anymore. And then we have this vintage copy of Pride and Prejudice, a classic. And because it is a book without a barcode, that is going there. That has some small damage to it from some small rodents. That just feels nasty. Sometimes these older books feel crunchy. I don't know how else to describe that. But if you sell vintage books, you maybe will know what I'm talking about. They just feel crunchy. And I just tactilely cannot handle that. So this is just me seeing like titles that I've never seen before to see, okay, is this, what genre is this? I normally do not pick up thriller or crime books because there are so many of them. I thought about picking this up, but then I read the back of it and decided I was not interested in that book. But it's just me taking a look at everything in here because this section I have never seen before. It's a little Ken Follett book. That one also felt nasty. That is just a ridiculous cover. I also like vintage science fiction and fantasy books and some like vintage like 70s and 60s covers because they're wild. Some of them are just absolutely wild. So this is my little handful right now. So even though I have relentlessly shopped the book section at this restore, I am still able to find some gems here. You can see that I guess a hotel or a doctor's office has decided to update their furniture and donated all of the extra stuff to the restore. Again, if you are a furniture flipper, the restore is a great place to go. These are some new overstocks. Again, the restores in my area get gifted a lot of stuff from Walmart and Sam's Club and Target that doesn't sell in the store and have marked down clearance, and they still didn't sell, so then they just donate them for the write-off. The number of butler chairs that were in the store, like a different decade for each chair. I thought that was kind of interesting. So now I'm going to walk over to the hard goods section, which again, I have found some wins. It has been harder lately because they do have a tendency to mark things up here quite a bit, and they have a tendency at this specific restore to mark things at listed prices and not sold prices. In fact, to justify their pricing something up, they will print off a listing and tape it to the item. I've seen that multiple times, and it always makes me laugh whenever I see it, because whenever I see it, I do look up the sold prices, and it's almost always half of whatever the taped thing is on the item, which is very funny to me. I mean, I hope they get it because the restore, Habitat for Humanity, is a great charity, and that's also why I really like shopping here. These are, I need my hands. I need to do some research. So there are some salt glaze. Look, that's the book I'm currently listening to. There are some salt glazed pots here. They are little pictures. I just thought that this was cute, and I picked it up because I have ADHD and can't focus on one thing. So I'm going to look up these pots because they have them marked. It's like a canister set. They have the smallest one marked at $15, the medium-sized one marked at $25, and the largest one marked at $35. And these all have their matching tops with them. They're all in great shape, but they are asking eBay prices for this set. So it's really neat to look at them, but I am going to have to pass. And that's just me double checking by doing the image search. These are the blueberry basket. Just to double check to see anywhere else. But yeah, no, not for that price. So those I am going to pass on, but it is nice to see a new pottery that might be worth picking up if I see it, at an estate sale, or I see it at a thrift store that doesn't know what it is. I could ask for that price. If I picked that up for $5, I'd be more willing to do that versus $15 or $35. But sometimes I just look at stuff. You guys can't see this. It is a pear. I was looking at a ceramic pear. I'm sorry you guys couldn't get to see what it is, but this is just to show you how things are organized here. A lot of little kitschy housewares. Here's the mug section, my favorite. Got a his and her set there in the front. And this is from the 70s. If I had more than one, I would have picked them up. But because there is only one, I left it behind. Because it's like an 8-ounce or a 10-ounce mug, I normally try to pick those up in sets because sets sell better than single mugs. Now, if I had like an antique booth, absolutely would have picked that up. Probably would have sold it there for $5. The antique booth prices in my area, because I live in the Newport News, Williamsburg area, are high. So that is not a venture I've been able to experience yet, but never say never, you know. I may not live here forever. So this, I saw a little box, wanted to see what was inside. So this is a knife set, Miyako ceramic knife set that they have marked for $21, and they're broken. So sweet. Again, I hope you get that. But it's not like a metal knife where maybe you can sharpen it to the point again, but it's ceramic, and so if it's broken, it's just broken. But again, I hope they get it because it's a good mission. Here is clear glassware. I'm always looking out for highball glasses because my partner and I have a tendency to yeet them accidentally. This is a set of Militaria playing cards. They originally were $20. They are asking $10 for them. This store has a tendency that if they see a price tag on it, that's Blue Willow pattern, but it's not by any general maker. It's just Blue Willow patterned plate. If they see a price on something, they have a tendency to mark it at half the price that is marked on the item. These are some just nice little plates. Thought they're pretty. In the mid-century era, it was common for women to buy blank pottery and paint it themselves. And it could be, more to their taste. It's like a society lady habit to do, little paint parties. I mean, we kind of do the same thing now. I mean, I think there are still places that do pottery nights. And then there's also like those paint nights, those wine and paint nights. I've done a couple of those. They're always fun. Ooh. Hello. We have a full set. We have a full set that are in great shape. And I'm a little curious right now is if it's $9 a glass or if the whole set is $9. So I'm now going to try to figure out where to put my books because I need both hands because this box is in rough shape. It is a little flimsy. It's a flimsy box for some very heavy glassware. So what I'm trying to do now is see if the box itself is priced, because if the box itself is priced, then maybe they just didn't want anybody to steal the glasses. The box itself is priced. So I'm hoping that that's what it'll be when I get up. So this is me looking up comps because I've bought and sold this multiple times, but never with the box. So I'm just checking to see with the box, is it worth picking up? It is. And then I saw these glasses, but they had no maker's mark on them. And so I needed to look those up as well. I definitely am getting the Libby glasses, so I'm putting my books on them to claim them. And then this says mid-century Libby cocktail glasses. I don't believe them. So I am going to actually Google image search this glass on a white background because Libby is really good about marking their stuff. And so I see it here listed as Federal Glass, I see it listed as Libby, and I see it listed as Culver. Culver's also a really good brand that marks all of their stuff. I see it up for sale for a set of 12 as Culver for $118. You can also, if you notice the picture there, that those glasses are amazing. as far as the original quality. However, you look at the glasses that I'm looking at, they have suffered dishwasher fading. As someone who buys and resells vintage glassware very often, if you get glasses made before 1990, please do not put them in the dishwasher. Most glasses are not made to go in the dishwasher before 1990. That's all glassware. That includes Pyrex. So if you see Pyrex, vintage Pyrex that has been faded, the pattern it looks like it's lost its pattern. That's because somebody has put the Pyrex bowl in the dishwasher. I just thought these were cute. Please do not put your vintage glassware in the dishwasher. It will ruin them. Well, I mean, the glass will still be functional as a glass, but you will no longer have that beautiful pattern, which is why you bought them to begin with. They are hand wash only items. I know that sucks if you want an easy life, but glassware made before 1990 that has a pattern on it or any kind of design, please do not put it in the dishwasher. I'm going to keep saying that anytime I find an instance of dishwasher fading, because it devalues those items so much. So those glasses I actually would have picked up if they did not have severe dishwasher fading, even at the price that they were asking for them, because I would have been able to probably sell them for around $50 to $60. But because of that dishwasher fading, it's really not worth it. These are little tart pans that have the little crust buster. Keep it from sticking to the pan. I just hadn't seen that in a while, but these are very rusted and hard to move. I'm sure I could put some olive oil in there and loosen them up, but I just thought it was cute. I just hadn't seen them in such a long time. So I always look at the pots and pans because, you'll never know when a Le Creuset will pop up. Oh, there's me. Hooray me. And I saw this clock and picked it up and instantly realized that was a cheap reproduction and put it right back down. So, yeah, I'm just perusing and seeing if I really want to keep walking around the store or not. I am going to gingerly set my wares down here in a minute because I see salt and pepper shakers that I might want. And unfortunately, I don't show them in the haul video because I forgot I picked them up. And the reason I forgot I picked them up is because I bought them for myself. This is a little alabaster lemon. They wanted $9 for it, which is about what you can sell those for on eBay. So there's not enough room. There's a peach as well. So little alabaster eggs, again, also individually priced for about what you could sell them on eBay for. So I left them behind. There's just not really enough room for resale. This is me looking at all the glassware. I don't know why I decided to cheers the empty glass, but there you go. What I'm looking for here, there we go. I'm just looking to see if there is a maker's mark or a sticker on there. There is one, but not one that I'm interested in reselling. I saw these, and then I saw the little anchor hocking on the bottom. And these have nice wide holes on the top. So I'm going to buy these little vintage anchor hocking. This is not a matching tray. That's just something they put on there. So these aren't in the haul, but they are in my house because I'm keeping them. I am going to substitute these for a different vintage set of salt and pepper shakers that I own. That'll sell for like $20, but I'm not going to show those to you until they sell. And then I will let you know. And hopefully you will remember this video for however long that takes. So I guess stick around maybe for a set of $20 salt and pepper shakers that may or may not sell. Here's a whole bunch of glassware. I buy all of my glassware at the thrift store. They want $4 for some corks there. Because as I've talked about before, I don't have feeling in half of my hands due to nerve damage from my disability, my POTS. So I only buy glassware from the thrift store because then it doesn't cost very much. And what I am doing right now is I am checking the glasses for rolled lips. And that affects the taste of wine, which is one of the primary adult beverages that I drink. And despite the fact that I buy all of my glasses from the thrift store, I am still snobby enough to not want a rolled lip in a fluted glass. So I will only buy crystal to drink wine out of from the thrift store. I just thought these were pretty. Not $78 pretty, but they're pretty. These Voltsgraph goblets always trip me out because they do look like uranium glass if you see them from afar, because of like they glow. They look like they would glow. So because I absolutely will break those salt and pepper shakers if I put them on top of this pile of stuff, I've put them in my pocket. I promise I paid for them. I literally just took them out of my pocket and put them on the counter. She was like waiting for more, and I was like, no, this is it. This is all that's in here. So this one does have clothes. I've talked about before that they will have clothes if they are a, donation from a big box store. And I had to remember that. That is the only time they have clothes, is if it's new with tags and from a big box store. And the reason why I said I had to remember that is because I saw these Jouet dresses, these maxi dresses, these printed maxi dresses that have a retail price of $268. But then they also have a tag on them that I have never seen before on a Jouet dress. And the reason why I've never seen this tag before is because I am not a member of Sam's Club. And then I saw some more Gap pieces that also had tags that I had never seen before on a Gap piece, because I have been to a Gap store before. So I'm going to bring up eBay and I'm going to scan this barcode. And there are so many of these dresses listed, all of them around $25 to $30, except for one couple of like really, really hopeful individuals that have these dresses marked at like $60 to $70. I'm guessing because they see the retail price. And that is because people have bought these probably from Sam's Club or Costco or wherever these came from, and are trying to resell them. Like, I know that I've seen Rally Roots do videos where they have like a business account with Costco or Sam's Club, and they get like money back at the end of the year, and then they use that free money to go buy inventory from Costco and Sam's Club and then like make a profit off of that, which is a great business model to use. Totally valid way to do retail arbitrage. But that is why there are so many of these particular items listed and not as many sold, is because of the fact that the market's just flooded right now. So, that's what I had to remember. I was like, wait a second. I know these brands, but there's a reason these brands are here. So right now I'm going through just to see if there's anything I personally like, or maybe to get the boy or, friends, because it's Christmas time and $10 for a brand new thing is much less than whatever price that they have charged on it. I mean, most of these items had a retail price of between $30 and like I said, $268. But there wasn't really anything here that I was interested in purchasing for myself or for someone else. And then of course there wasn't anything here that I was able to purchase for resale. And whoopsie, don't worry, I always fix the thing. Look at this lady, she's so stylish. I'm gonna pick up my gains, and I am going to actually give you over to Haul Bob, and she is gonna go over the haul with y'all, despite the fact you can already see everything in my hands. But you know what? I like talking about books. So if you want to listen to me talk about books, stay. If you're done, have a nice day. Hello and welcome to the haul, y'all. This is going to be another short haul because I went to another restore and picked up what I normally am able to pick up at the restores. Miss Moxie, of course, is here, down here at the bottom. You will hear her purring and see her little tail flying. But I picked up books and one hard good at this thrift store. So I picked up a vintage copy. This is a Bantam copy of The Prince and the Pauper. This is probably from late 80s, early 90s. And if you're wondering how I know that, you kind of just get a feeling. Yes, this 80s, 1980s. You just get a feeling after a while of doing this when the book covers are from, because most decade in books have a stylization that is pretty interesting. This is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen in this super vintage copy, which is why I picked this up. I have bought and sold several very vintage copies of Pride and Prejudice. One of them you've already seen. Well, it wasn't technically vintage yet. In a month it'll be vintage, but yeah. These classics are super easy to buy and resell. I'm trying to get the exact date for this one. This is 1962. 1962. Book without a barcode. If you are from my book channel, you know what that means. And then this I might read. This is considered an English literature classic novel, and it's 45 cents, so I'm guessing this one is from the 50s. Oh no, this is from 1964. This was just a pulpy price. It's a very pulpy book. But yeah, so I got 2 classics of literature, well, 3 technically. And the reason why I picked this one up, this 80s copy doesn't really have a whole lot of value to it, but I'm going to put this with a bunch of other classics and do like a classics bundle, and that is how I'm going to sell this. Sorry, these books are a little dusty. All right, so this is the Newbery Awards Library. If you did not know, the Newbery Awards is named after John Newbery, who is an 18th century publisher and seller of books. And his award is given to great works of children's literature. And I found a box set, which is surprising, and they did not mark it up. They made me pay 50 cents a book. So I paid $2.50 for this, which is not awful. So this one comes with, this is a Dell set. So this comes with Island of the Blue Dolphins by Scott Odell. Johnny Tremaine, the story of the Boston in Revolt. I believe I have read this one for sure. I definitely have read this one. And this is The Witch of Blackbird Pond. We have The Cricket and Times Square by George Selden. And this is Philip Hall Likes Me, I Reckon Maybe by Bet Green. I feel, as someone who has read a lot of books when I was younger, a little ashamed that the only one I recall reading is Johnny Tremaine. So maybe I need to do some children's literature, but I won't really need to do that if these sell quickly. But I thought that was pretty great that I found a nice little box set of this vintage copies of this book. Actually, when did these books come out? I feel like this is an 80s set, and I'm not going to be able to get any of them out now because I've... Here, let me just look at Tremaine then. This is by Esther Forbes. Do you care about that? Probably don't, but... Nope, 1975. Wow. Well, I mean, that would explain why none of them have barcodes, because barcodes were mandated on all things made available for sale to the general public in 1978. Specifically, I think spring of 1978. So that would explain why none of these have barcodes. So a 1970 set of Newbery Award winners, which is pretty awesome. So I did also pick up one hard good, and the only reason I picked this up for $9 is because it's in the original box. So these are from the 60s, and these are the Libby Silverleaf 15.5 ounce tumbler. I have bought and sold these without the box multiple times. In fact, I normally pick up the Libby Silverleaf set whenever I find them. I think I actually have some already up for sale now that don't have the box. They have the little L here at the bottom, and these ones are great. They're in amazing shape. They do not have any dishwasher wear, it looks like, at all, which is, as those of you who buy and resell glassware, is a miracle. But these look like they were never ever used. You can see that I have 8 stickers I have to, well, 9 stickers I have to remove because they made sure no one took any glasses out of the box without being charged $9 for it. So I only got charged $9 for the whole set. I guess $1 per glass in the box. I don't know. I paid less than $16 for everything I am showing you, and I am definitely going to make more than that off of these in the box. That's why I picked this up, is that these in the original box sell for roughly like $25, $30, which is great. Normally when I pick these up, I pay like 50 cents a glass or $1 a glass. It just depends on what it is. This pattern comes in all sizes of glassware, all shapes of glassware, and also there's a picture as well. But I do pick them up when I can get them for cheap enough. The only reason I paid up a little bit is because it comes in its original packaging, which I thought was really cute. So, you know, not a huge haul, but I have found some amazing things at this restore. Like I said, I found just an inane amount of books at this restore this year, actually in fall. If you didn't follow my book channel, I will link it up above. But there's a series of book hauls there, and I made over $1,500 on Whatnot from the big science fiction and fantasy book haul I got from there. And I don't think I ever said how much I paid for it on that site, but I paid $100 for all of those books, and I made $1,500 in like a month, which I think is pretty fantastic. All that money went to my Bronco. And then, you know, I then came back like a couple weeks after that haul and then found all the brand new books that I bought and have been slowly selling off here because they're not science fiction and fantasy, so my book channel audience wouldn't necessarily be as interested in those. But yeah, I love books. I like buying and reselling them, and that is what the restore is for me, because as you guys saw in the shopping section, this store has a tendency to mark stuff at eBay listed prices. But that doesn't stop me from trying, and again, that's why like I have nothing but mad respect for resellers that niche down. I've found a niche that they absolutely love. As a book reader and lover, I totally understand that, but I could not live off of books in my area, so I kind of just sell everything. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you are still enjoying Thriftmas even with these smaller hauls, and I promise the next Thriftmas video will be a bit girthy. So until then, bye! Bye.
Hero, hero. I wanna be a hero, hero.